Welcome back to the HEX Space Force. This is your weekly update. We're going to be covering everything that has happened since May 12th, aka the PulseChain launch date. And if you're anything like me, you've probably been staring at your computer screen in the PulseX swap app for much longer than you probably should be. Anyways, we're going to be covering major coin price movements and news. We're going to talk about the PulseChain launch and happenings on that side of the house, as well as finish it off with some Richard Hart tweets and the meme of the day. So getting into it, since May 12th, we had a Bitcoin low where it dropped under 26,000. This is a bit of a mark of the end of a 60-day cycle between our previous low down at about 19,000 and change. Switching over to the Ethereum side of the house, very similar chart. This one has been hovering just above the 1800 mark for the past week or so. Not a whole lot of movement since there, and we're still sitting below the 50-day moving average. Going over to our HEX chart, we got a bit of a shakeup going on here. So, as I said, PulseChain launched on the 12th, and right on the 12th, you see a major dump. HEX ran up to about 8 cents and change and was sitting there for a few hours before the official PulseChain launch and the snapshot release came out, in which case it crashed all the way down to just under 1 cent, and then since then has recovered right around 3 cents. So, a lot of people were holding it for the snapshot. Once snapshot happened, a lot of people dumped it. So if you're still looking to get in some HEX for the future bull market in 2024, 2025, 3 cents is actually not a terrible spot to pick it up, and has actually been a good price that we've seen through most of 2022. So if you're worried about missing it on those prices, there's still a new opportunity, even with other stuff going around the corner. Switching over to the S&P 500, we're actually decorrelated currently from the stock market. Stock market has had a great last 2 days and has actually looked like it's breaking through a bit of a resistance level around 416, 417. And if we look even farther out, our next resistance level is going to be around 430, which is where the market topped out around August of 2022. Switching over to news. The big news in the economic sector right now is that the debt ceiling fight is still going on between Congress and the president. As of April 26, John McCarthy of the House GOP passed the proposal to the Senate. A lot of hopes weren't exactly placed on it because it had to make it through the Senate, but it at least was a starting negotiating point with the president. Since then, the president has been meeting with Republicans and other House Democrats. Nothing has come forth as a result. However, negotiations are still ongoing. Big news for the week is that PulseChain has officially launched. It launched on Friday, the 12th of May, and the bridge opened up on Monday, the 15th. Since then, we've been seeing a lot of action, and currently the coins are sit around as follows. Pulse itself is about 1/100th of a penny, and PulseX is about 4 thousandths of a penny. Currently, the exchange rate is sitting at about 3.5 PulseX for every pulse, and this ratio has only been decreasing. So what that means is that PulseX is getting more expensive comparatively to the Pulse token itself. Previously, we've been seeing that the Pulse token before the bridge was open was trading at about a 1-to-4 ratio and a little bit below to a 1 to 3.5, and we even saw it get down as low as 1 to 3 at some points. Dex Screener has been providing a lot of great information for everything PulseChain, and can even show you how it's been doing. Our chart is moving up and to the right. A lot of people are speculating that we're going to get a bit of a run on Pulse and PulseX for a week or two before we see an initial crash, very similar to many other coin launches in the past. One big story is that the PulseChain bridge has actually been very blocked up, and Richard Hart himself even tweeting out saying that, hey, relax a bit, there's still a lot coming through, and we can go over to the PulseBurn website. Currently, only 30% of the funds have actually been bridged over. This is a bit of an update from when Richard Hart went out. I believe he had his shot at about 26%. So since then, we're getting some more. As far as validator nodes, we are almost at 10,000. The number is only rising. Gas prices have been pretty variable. I've seen them as high as about 3,000 or 4,000 pulse for a PulseX swap. And then previously, when I actually opened up on the bridge, I think I did an initial PulseX swap for about 3 pulse itself, and that allowed me to get some HEX into pulse and get going on that front. Alrighty. Speaking of the bridge, tokens that are getting bridged over is we have HEX, Ethereum, USDC, DAI, and Tether coming over from the Ethereum chain. You can note them differently in the way that they're marked on the exchange themselves. Again, looking at validators, the number is only rising. And finally, we're going to finish it off with a meme of the week, which is very in line with PulseChain. What does the mirror do, Professor? It shows us nothing more or less than the deepest, most desperate desires of our heart. And everyone that's sacked for PulseX and PulseChain, that is the deep desire of our heart. Big green candles, baby. But we'll see where that goes for now. As always, this is the HEX Space Force. Thanks for catching up with us. We will be coming back later, covering a bit more in depth of everything going on with the PulseChain launch and all the shenanigans around the stealth launch that was a rollout as a result of some leaked Telegram chats. But till then, stay easy, stay breezy, and I will see you next time.